for the week, y'all.
Yeah, let's
moving on. DTF, Lego. Tell us how DTF you are.
I am very DTF. These NFTs, boys, wow. If you're not familiar, they are they're basically digital files that you own, and they are going for insane amounts of money. A lot of people are calling it money laundering. A lot of people are saying it's just getting in on the ground floor of the next wave of money, next wave of funds transfers. I'm not really sure what it is, other than it. To me, it sounds like a bad idea. I'm really curious to hear what everybody else has to say about it. But I mean, I remember when iTunes was like the thing that stomped down pirating music. And I mean, before that, everything was pirated. So I don't understand how you're going to stop the pirating of these digital currencies or whatever. So anyway, weigh in, guys. Whoever's got something to say about that.
Is it currencies or like, I thought it came from like digital art files was the original thing.
It's art, it's music, it's
gaming,
it's anything that's intellectual property owned for the most part. Like, I just like the name non-fungible. How can you not like fungible? It sounds like a candy or something. Non-fungible tokens, and then it sounds like a video game. So, dude, it's more for like art and music.
Maybe we should explain the context of it so that people understand like what the nature of it. And keep in mind, this is like a normie review. But essentially, there was an artist that worked for DC back in the 70s. One of the things he worked on a lot was Wonder Woman. And I guess DC had given him access to the digital prints of his original artwork from back in the 70s. And they had done so with a blockchain crypto like password, which is this non-fungible token. And he decided to sell that access to somebody for big bucks. And DC didn't like it too much. And now everybody's speculating about, where this is going, if this is the new way to do currency for the future and that sort of thing. I guess that's kind of like the 30-second synopsis of what happened.
Yeah, but it's going
for the person from DC that gave him that token just make more and give them out to everybody, or give them out to other people?
See, I'm not sure how all that digital stuff works because I'm the old man. Remember, I forgot what I was talking about like 10 minutes ago. So, so the thing is that I don't really get how this blockchain technology works, but supposedly it's almost hacker proof. You can't. That's why it's the same type of technology that things like Bitcoin operate off of. Mm-hmm. But I'm personally real skeptical of this kind of stuff, only because, and I think we talked about this going back to some of our previous discussions on streaming tech and that kind of thing. I'm old school. If I buy something, I want to have it in my hands. When the world falls apart, then I can still go to my bookshelf and hold it in my hand, right? But like when the net disappears or Skynet takes over and kicks everybody off of it, then how are you going to have access to your digital prints? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm with you. And this is like, I'm okay with streaming certain things, but anything I'm streaming, I never feel like I have ownership of that at all whatsoever.
Right.
And, I like that I can watch Godzilla on HBO or whatever, but I don't feel as comfortable watching Godzilla on HBO as I feel having my Better Off Dead DVD that I can watch if the world was dead.
Right.
Oh,
Jose,
100%.
You seem to know a little bit about the blockchains and whatnot. You want to elaborate on those a little bit?
Well, it's based off of the Ethereum crypto blockchain. Basically, what it's doing, it's adding another bit of blockchain to that system. I'm still reading up on NFTs, and I've been trying to watch a few YouTube videos on it to try and understand it a little bit more. But basically, you guys pretty much got the gist of it. It's you own the digital rights to that piece of whatever, whatever it is. Another simplified way of looking at it is, when it's been happening in the past. So, when, you're playing a video game and you want a skin for your character, or like in Call of Duty, a skin for your gun, a certain particular one, you got to grind it out, or you got to pay some money in order to access it. So then your gun is decorated with the skin, or your player character has, a certain outfit that you like. Well, you own it, but you don't technically own it. So the way the NFT is a little bit different is, let's just say you got access to that particular skin for your gun or for your character's outfit. You would be able to then sell that to somebody else. Like if I had it, but Lego really wanted it, it's the only one of its kind. Well, Jose, I want that outfit for my playable character in this, in this video game. So then he would make me a real life offer of, $20, $30, and then I could sell it to him. And then Lego would be the only one in the video game to have that skin on the gun or the outfit for his character. That's basically what it is. And he could trade it for real, for real money, or cryptocurrency in this case. And obviously that's not what's happening right now. So only, EA or whoever, the Call of Duty producers, they were the ones that got money from that, but you couldn't do anything with it. Obviously you have your skin. Oh, cool. Let me take a picture for the gram. I got this skin on my soldier or whatever. That's it. That's where it ended. What NFTs are doing is taking it a step further and giving you the complete right to do whatever you want to do with it, trade it, sell it, whatever. And it's all working off of the Ethereum blockchain network.
That's
Right,
a little bit deeper. That makes a little more sense.
Yeah.
So
And
going
so,
back to,
sorry.
no, I was just going to say, so going back to this artist from the 70s who worked on Wonder Woman. So basically he sold the access to and rights to the digital prints of his work from back in the day to this new person. So this artist doesn't have the rights to it anymore. He gave it to somebody else.
And correct. I would imagine DC has a problem with that, because wouldn't DC then come in saying, hey, well, technically that's our property, and Wonder Woman is a copywritten property of, Wonder Brothers or DC Comics.
Right.
Okay. We got a cool comment here. The Disney card game Liz and I play is a form of NFT.
Well,
Talk
kind
about this
of,
game, Liz.
Because it's Tops. Tops puts it out. It's called Disney Collect by Tops, and there's a Marvel one, there's a Star Wars one. I think there might be a sports one too, like a wrestling. There's like, because Tops isn't, for a long time people weren't collecting cards, and so this was one way for people who still like collecting cards to do it, and they make digital versions of it. So, but John can collect it. I can collect the exact same card, so it's not like those cards are unique to us. It's just like a watered down version of that. Anybody can go on that game and collect. And then once you, the cards are only out for a certain time, you get it, then you can trade with other people if other people want those particular cards. But it's not like I'm the only one that has it, or, there's thousands of people that do it. So it's like a watered down version of that. But yeah, you pay real money if you want to collect these types of things, but it's all digital stuff. And yes, I'm a Disney nerd, and so of course I'm going to play that game.
There you go. There's your NFT that you have.
What?
Right on.
That's your NFT that you own.
Yeah.
Kitty K's asking for a vote for Liz shirt. Does she have to message you for that, Nate?
Vote for Liz shirt. We could probably put something together. If we were able to do it for Jose, we could probably do it for Liz.
No, we can't.
No, you can't.
That's
No,
an NFT. It's owned by me. Just kidding.
We got
That file is owned by me. It's definitely an interesting concept. It's got some artists kind of backing out. They don't really support it. Others do. It just depends. I guess it just depends on you. I see it as a potential bubble, but then again, that people called Bitcoin a bubble. People called cryptocurrencies a bubble. So who knows, man? Like I said, the future changes so quickly nowadays, and not everything is everything is speculative, and it just depends on how the people receive it. And so far, people are very interested in it. I mean, when you think about it, people are already grinding hours and hours a day on certain video games. And when they finally decide to walk away, they walk away with nothing. So imagine them having the ability to walk away and say, all of these hours that I put into this video game, somebody can buy, every camouflage, every gun, everything I've worked for, and make some real money from it. And then, that's where I would imagine it going. Or I don't know how people would, enjoy these digital artworks. And I would be thinking maybe something like, it'd be cool to have like a museum, like where you scan your artwork and then people pay to go in and see it.
John says, especially when an artist makes a one-of-a-kind piece of art that's blockchain. But I mean, I don't know, you can do a screenshot of your art and the next thing you know, it's not yours anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it really boils down to it being like a digital collector's item. I mean, you have the licensing rights and that kind of thing. But as an artist, the way you're presenting your medium, or the medium you choose rather to present your art, is really important. And I think a lot of traditionalists will probably really hate the idea of an NFT. But I mean, the fact of the matter is, a lot of people aren't going to art museums. Plenty of people are going to art museums, but a lot of people aren't. So this might fill a gap and get art into the hands of people who might not be collecting it. So it's an interesting concept, and I'm definitely down to see it.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see the legal stuff that comes out of this. There's all that legalese now, because I remember when I was in the book business, it used to be you had the print edition, the hardcover, the paperback. That was it. And then all of a sudden digital started coming up with, reading online and the Kindle and things like that. And then all of a sudden the new contracts had to have digital rights, because now all of a sudden the authors were able to sell their digital rights, or they could go and do it themselves. And now you cut out the publisher. And so it'll be interesting to see. And I'm sure that there's some already in contracts for artists and writers for comics, because they do digital stuff already. So it'll be interesting to see who actually owns the physical pages, like the art, who actually owns it. Does the artist still retain that? Do they still own it? Or because they were contracted to write this or to draw this character, to the DC, I just use DC because that was the article that we read. Does the publisher actually own that work? That's why I think where the nuances of this is going to come down to, is who actually owns the artwork and who has the right to sell that art. Because you go to conventions all the time and you see people selling their original pages and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to see if they don't physically own that, but they have digital copy. Yeah, I find it fascinating, being the daughter of a lawyer.
Yeah.
I'm guessing too, with this guy, that the original article was about, since he was drawing for Wonder Woman back in the 70s, it's 2021. I'm pretty sure this guy is up there in age. He's probably thinking about retirement, thinking about what to leave his kids and his grandkids. And he's like, I don't need the digital copies to this work that I did back in the 70s. I'm going to make some sweet, sweet green.
Well, it's interesting that you guys are bringing up a comic book artist, because I know that I know Lego had mentioned traditionalists may not like the NFT idea, but you have to add on top of that, crypto isn't necessarily the most environmentally conscious thing going on. It does have its environmental consequences. I mean, I'm a fan of crypto, but I can't not acknowledge that it has an environmental impact. And there was somebody who sent out an email today. It was a comic dealer who was talking about how they were going to jump into the NFT scenes. And a lot of comic artists have done research and are finding that there's an environmental impact to cryptocurrencies, and they don't feel comfortable jumping into it because of that. And I just found that interesting, because it's always, comic book, the comic book community is really always really at the front of, being environmentally friendly. I mean, other than producing garbage comics that are going to go in the landfill anyways. Like, but it's true though. They're very socially conscious. They're
At least the
environmental.
comics are
They're
biodegradable.
somewhat.
If all this
Are
money
they
is stored
really?
digitally, then the computers have to be running, and then the energy generating the power for the computers is burning coal usually, or gas, or some other fossil
And
fuel.
that's what I'm saying. Like they're conscious about those kinds of things. So on that front, you have comic book artists who are pulling out. They're saying, you know what, we were thinking about it, but now we're not really game because of those consequences that it's going to have on the environment. So it's an exciting time to live in right now, and we'll see where it goes. I wouldn't put all my eggs in one basket though. Like if I do purchase something, it'll be a very minimum, like very, very small investment, not something that I would bank on. It's cool to be in on something, but at the same time, until you really get a grasp and understanding, don't buy anything you don't understand. Like do your research and really back yourself up, because if this thing pops, you have no one else to blame but yourself for investing in something that you didn't truly understand. And that goes the same with any investment you should be doing. And don't just follow what the crowd is doing. Don't just do what everybody else is doing. Learn what you have to learn. Find out what first learn what Ethereum is, then learn what the blockchain is, then learn what an NFT is. And if you're comfortable at that point buying those things, then go for it.
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Collection Connection Talking live stream. If you want to see the full show, come back to this channel, youtube.com/Collection Connection, and watch us stream live at 9:30 p.m. Pacific time every Monday, where you can leave comments and chat with us, and we will actually read your comments on the show. And of course, please like, subscribe, and click the bell for notifications.